if you are a real estate professional making any more than 30 grand a year, is a sub-chapter S corporation. Let me say it again, sub-chapter S corporation. Because when you're a sub-chapter S corporation.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Tech Tuesday at 8 a.m. Today, we're here every Tuesday at 8 a.m. with either some tech tips or some awesome facts and figures. But today we have a special guy, and not only a special guy as far as a teacher with real estate agents all over the state and multiple states, but he's also a very good friend of mine. And you ever have one of those friends where you just look at each other and you just start frickin' laughing and you can't stop? That's the way Beef is. This is Wellington Pindell. He's coming to you live from, is it Temecula?
Temecula, California.
Temecula, California. And if you don't know, he had something called Career Compass, which Beef will tell you a little bit about. And I'm going to just let him go unplugged, talk about several topics. And this is not a stretch for him because he does this every day. So everybody, welcome Wellington Pindell, AKA the Beef. Good morning.
Thank you, Frank. Here we are Tuesday morning, 8 a.m.
Yep.
The whole world's still asleep.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. Tech Tuesday. Now, that sounds very technical. Are we getting technical today? And should we get technical? And what do you want to know? And what do you want to hear? And I'll give you I'll give you all my opinions, but I'm right, as they say. I'm going to
everybody. He is the Tucker Carlson of real estate. I have to tell you that.
Yes, I've been fired many times by many people. That's right.
Eve, why don't you start off a couple of minutes, just your background and how you came about into this position, and then we'll go from there.
All right. I was born a poor black child down in Alabama. Oh wait, that's Steve Martin's the Jerk movie. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway. No, I grew up in Spokane, Washington, went to San Diego State on an athletic scholarship, and it was not any kind of a major thing. It was track, and that's the sport that anybody can do because they don't have cuts. Because I got cut from the football team, baseball team, basketball team, and I think I got cut from the women's cheerleading team as well. But I self-identify. I mean, come on, people, how do they violated my rights? Anyway, so I went to San Diego State. After that, I was with several Fortune 500 companies, and that $1.25 gets me on a bus, including Procter & Gamble, Frito-Lay, Ford Motor Company, Bacardi Rum. Don't remember those years. And here's a funny story. I'm probably one of the only people you'll ever meet, and I'm not even Catholic. I'm probably one of the only people you ever meet that actually stood in the Sistine Chapel alone. Nobody else in there. I was alone with God, looking up at Michelangelo. It was amazing. But I was drunk and irresponsible and young, so I didn't even remember it. So I went back to the Sistine Chapel a few years ago, and the place was packed. I'm like, where's my alone free tour here? Anyway, so I did that when I was with Bacardi Rum, and after that, worked for Tony Robbins actually for a little while. And shortly after that, a few other companies out of Canada that were doing real estate training and real estate success training, stuff like that. Ran a brokerage and a investment company for a while for real estate agents, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, in 2007, was one of the founding members of Career Compass, which was just something that we did because we were all dying. Because in 2007, we all know what was happening. The mortgage meltdown. I can't feel my legs. That's basically what was going on in 2007. So we're like, hey, I have a good idea. Let's start a company that nobody thinks is going to be successful, teaching stuff that nobody even thinks exists at a value that's a third of anybody else's cost, for 10 times the benefits. And everybody's like, this is going to be out of business inside 30 months. And that was 15 years ago. And we are now the largest seminar in the state of California when it comes to teaching realtors and brokers, agents, and other people like that how to be successful in this business. And when I say largest, what I mean is we have 6 to 8 seminars every single year at different fun locations here in California. And it's a 2-day seminar, and you will learn things that you've never learned before. And that is the honest God. I mean, Frank, you've been to the seminar probably 10 times now, at least, something like that. We know each other for, I don't know, like 10 years, more than 10 years.
2008.
That was 2000 and great. So point being, yeah, I remember, because you were managing the Keller Williams office in Valencia.
Yeah.
That's right. We had more hair.
And I was thinner.
Yeah. Younger, thinner, better. So
now I'm just husky.
Yeah.
Now
So anyway, so that's ancient history. We have 6 to 8 seminars throughout the state of California. There are 2-day seminars where they're attended by anywhere between 200 to 800 people, depending on where the location is. And we not only give great tools, techniques, systems, and processes that you won't learn anywhere else. We are actually the company that popularized and has brought the 7% technique to the market. And if you're a realtor and you do not know what the 7% technique is a revolution. And in my opinion, especially what's going on with the DOJ right now, you must learn that. I mean, all the great realtors know that and use it in one way or another in their business. Even Marguerite Crispillo, Frank Crandall, Joe Crispillo, Tom Days, all these people up there in your guys' area use that technique to one extent or another. And that's just one of over 100 different techniques that we teach that you cannot learn on any other at any other seminar. And I'm not bashing, okay? Brian Buffini is a great guy. He really is. Tom Ferry's a great guy. Mike Ferry's a guy. Yeah. And there's lots of other people out there. So get all the training you can, folks, but come to the Career Compass. It should be mandatory, especially after the Department of Justice silliness that we're dealing with right now. Career Compass should be a mandatory seminar. And on top of that, it renews your license through our independent third-party affiliated company, vetted, inoculated, and so you get your license renewed, and you get to come back for free for life. Greatest program in the history of real estate. Absolutely amazing thing. And I am blessed to be working for this company, even though they have fired me 3 times, but that's okay. And people say, hey, Wellington, how'd you get a job with, with all your terrible jokes and you're offensive and you're just in people's faces? How do you get a job with like the company that has the best reputation in all real estate? I'm like, well, the reason I got a job here is because they don't do background checks or drug tests. So I'm here, and that's how it works. So here we are.
So Beef, how many would you say in 15 years that you've been running your company, how many people have gone through the doors for a Career Compass?
If you include the seminars, lunch and learns, Zoom calls, not really Zoom calls, so we just started doing that. But as far as live people, we added up the other day between 80 and 100,000 people have been trained by the Career Compass. And that includes, we do more lunch and learns than any company in the state of California. If you're a broker manager or an agent, you'd like to have Career Compass. We're still the only company in the state of California that actually sends trainers, experts when it comes to taxes or listings or marketing or any of this kind of stuff, actually sends live trainers out to brokerages to do lunch and learns in the old school way for the benefit of the agents, the broker, the brokerage, and everybody else. So we're the only one that still does that. So we do that all the time. And so if you're talking about 15 years and all the brokerages and all the people, somewhere between 80 and 100,000 people have come through the Career Compass doors to hear my terrible jokes.
So the good thing about Beef is that when you go to his seminars, if you're a Democrat, you'll hate him. If you're a Republican, you'll hate him. He's very agent agnostic. I see people from Lion, CB, KW. It's very eclectic, I can tell you that. So let's get right into the heart of it. Tell me how this ever evolving real estate business, how has your seminar changed within the last 2 years?
That's a great question. And it's gone through massive change. It's almost like the change keeps speeding up. Like we changed a little bit 10 years ago, and then 5 years we changed a lot more. And it's almost like real estate is getting faster and faster when it comes to the changes. And the problem with real estate agents and the real estate industry in general, with the exception, I tell people this, with the exception of the cell phone that's in your hand, we fundamentally do this business the same way we did in 1975. I mean, the business has not really changed that much, other than the lowering of our value through the automation of the cell phone that's sitting in your hand. And by the way, it's just amazing to me. It's amazing. Realtors want to do everything automated. Okay? Automated. I got my virtual assistant. I got my assistant over here. I got my cell phone. I got my text. I got my emails, all this kind of stuff. But when it comes to selling and buying a house, oh no, we need to do that in person. It's the most amazingly hypocritical thing in the world. Well, here's the thing. It's changed in the last 2 years because not only are we post-COVID, so that's number one. That's the first huge factor. But number two, we're now post-DOJ, and we're now going to be dealing with the Sitzer Burnett case, whether it gets overturned or not, whether Warren Buffett basically greases the Supreme Court and gets them to overturn it. It doesn't make any difference. Yet you've got something called case precedent. And now everybody in the world now has heard about the fact that the DOJ is doing what the DOJ is doing. And by the way, it's funny because we talk about the DOJ. They actually never sued NAR. It's just they opened the doors for everybody else to soon are. Okay, so I'll get to that in a second. But the thing that has changed so dramatically in real estate post-COVID is this was already what I call a passive, apathetic based industry. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. So what COVID basically did is it taught the world that we can all sit at our houses and still live. Okay, you don't have to go outside. Well, what did that do to the real estate industry? We already wanted to do transactions virtually. We already wanted to do things on our cell phone. We wanted to do things via Zoom, and now that COVID just made that worse. So now we're a per people to people business, right? This is a people to people business. Just at the seminars, it's probably the only live thing these realtors have done in months. They're sitting right next to somebody and they haven't even introduced themselves to that person. I mean, they got 300, 400, 500 people in that room that can refer them. They don't know any of them. It's a people to people business. It isn't. And the problem that we're having right now is we have post-COVID, and I'm going to say something, and this is the key point that I say at the seminar in the last 2 years since we got out of COVID is, and this is going to shock everybody and it actually pisses everybody off, is Career Compass is the only major company saying this fact. Post-COVID, your relationships just went to second priority. Now, let me explain that to you. The relationships you have, your database, the people that, quote unquote, you're going to use the Ford method to call every 90 days and say, hey, Frank, how's the family? How's your occupation? How's your recreation? How are your dreams? And then you get to say, who do you know is going to be buying or selling in the next 90 days? Most people have built their business in the last 20 years because that's all you've ever been taught is to use the Ford method. Well, that's fine and that's great. And these people might have a relationship with you or might not. But my point is this, post-COVID, your relationships are no longer going to guarantee you the business. The value you bring is going to guarantee you the business. And here's what I mean. If it's 2012, 13, 14, 15, and I live here in Temecula, California, and I bought a house and I have $100,000 in equity, let's just say, right? And I go, hey, Frank, sell my house. We've known each other for 10 years and I really actually do have a relationship with you. That's fine. I'm going to give you the house because you have that relationship. You're staying top of mind. You're calling me every 3 months using the Ford method with things we've all learned over and over and over again for 20 years. I give you the business. And back in 2015, you sell the house and you get me 90% of my equity. Well, I got $100,000 in equity in my house. You get me 90% of it, take expenses out of it. And I leave the state of California and move to Georgia with $90,000 because I know that it costs money to sell a house and everybody's happy. Now, that's how it used to be. Now, fast forward to current day. Do I only have $100,000 in my equity? No, I've got 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, a million. In Orange County, the average equity is like $1 million if you've had your house for more than 10 years. Now, let's go back to my example. Let's say I've got $800,000 in equity in my house. And I go, hey, Frank, I've known you for a long time. Why don't you sell my house? And you get me 90% of my equity. You just cost me 80 grand because you're going to get me $720,000 out of my 800 grand. That's not good enough anymore. Those, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a realtor, those little calls you're making to your database is not worth 80 grand to them. Now, let's say that somebody in your database who you would normally list with you meets another realtor standing in the grocery store at Vaughn's or Ralph's or something, okay, and they have a realtor tag on. They go, well, what do you do in real estate? Well, I do this thing called the 7% technique, and it's guaranteed numerically to put more money in your pocket, more money in my pocket, more money in the buyer's agent pocket, drive comps up, improve the values in that neighborhood, and do it in a fraction of the time that the average realtor is going to do theirs. Now, and I can show you this numerically, how I do this to put more money in your pocket. That customer is that customer going to go with the person they just met at the grocery store or the realtor they've known for 10 years? Right. The person at the grocery store, aren't they?
Yeah. Because
your relationships are no longer the most important thing. The value you bring is the most important thing. That's the first point. That's post-COVID right there. Okay. So you must have tools, techniques, systems, and processes to show that seller, again, numerically, regardless of how long you've known them, that you can put more money in their pocket of their equity. Because think about this. If I'm moving to Georgia, oh my God, you know what you can buy in Georgia for $800,000? Most of Georgia, except for Atlanta, which you wouldn't want anyway. Okay. That's the point. These people, they have so much money in their equity these days. It's life-changing money. People moving to Idaho, because the guy across the street from me, the guy moved to Idaho because in our neighborhood, he bought his house for $350,000 and sold it for $1,050,000. Okay, that's equity. He is not going with the realtor that's been calling him every 90 days. He's going with the realtor that can prove to him that they can put every dime of that money in their pocket by using tools and techniques most realtors don't know. Your most valuable thing post-COVID is your value, not your relationships. I know that's shocking because Brian McPhee, Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, Craig Carter, Joe Stump, and all the rest of them have been doing nothing but, relationships. That was fine 10 years ago, but it's not the case anymore because everybody has equity now. And that's the big difference. Now let's fast forward that to the DOJ. Oh man. So in other words, not only do I want the realtor that's going to bring me value, and I don't give a crap about the guy I've had a relationship with anymore because he's going to get me 90% of my equity. I want 100% of it because I got $800,000. But now every media source in the world is telling everybody that we're a bunch of crooks, aren't they? Sitzer Burnett case was blasted all over the place. So everybody's like, hey, buyer's agents have been cheating you for the last 40 years and they've been charging too much. And here's a lawsuit. Hey, look, here's Facebook. Look, Facebook. All you do is click right here and this law firm will take my case and sue that realtor that I didn't like in the first place. And I'll just take half of everything they get. That sounds great. Contingency, no cost out of my pocket. That's making it even worse. So,
wow. Take a breath.
I can get into the details if you like about that, but my point is not only do I not care about my relationships anymore because I have so much money in my equity, but now it's going to be even more important for you to be able to show that seller that you can bring value because now they think you've been cheating them for 40 years. So now the realtors who are going to survive and succeed and explode their business are the ones who know tools, techniques, systems, and processes, can show a seller these things numerically on a piece of paper or the spreadsheets we give you right at our seminar on how you are so much better than the other realtor they're going to interview. Because if I'm a seller, not only do I think you've cheated me, but I want all my money. So you better show me how you're not cheating me, how you've earned your money, and how you can get me more. Now, think about that. If you're a realtor, most realtors cannot do that in a numerical, fact-based way. They go, well, I'm a good realtor and I've known you for 10 years, so please give me your listing. There you go.
All right. So, which leads me right into the next question. If you quick Reader's Digest of the benefits for somebody who's never been to the Career Compass, why should they come to the Career Compass at the next seminar?
All these boulders and rocks. Okay. 3 big boulders, 4 little rocks. Okay. Number 1, the reason that you should be. And I always say this. I was at the seminar. I was asking people, okay, well, raise your hand if the only reason you're here, the only reason you got up in the morning, did your hair, did your makeup, and got out of your house for the first time in 6 months. The only reason that you did that is for your I need my continuing education credits. So, and I get a few people, and they know I'm going to make fun of them. So there's like a few people, okay, I'll just kind of raise my hand because I know Beef's going to like call me out. I say, if the only reason that you're here is for your continuing education credits, don't bother getting them because the person sitting next to you who's here for the tools, techniques, systems, and processes is going to take your business anyway. There is not enough listings for everybody who wants as many listings as they want every year. So I got news for you. In this business, you either beat another realtor or the other realtor is going to beat you. If there's one listing and there's 2 realtors going for it, one person's going to get it, one person is not. There is no commission for second place. So my point is the number one reason that you should be going to Career Compass is we are going to teach you things that are going to make you that realtor that can prove to that seller or that buyer that you have value, even though they've been told you've been cheating them for 40 years and they think all realtors are autonomous and do the same exact thing, which is list a house in the MLS because you've got some kind of connection like a relationship, or the person selling your house is your cousin and it's a family thing, which is half of all the realtors listings anyway. It's a family thing. So you're going to be able to show your sellers, your clients, your buyers, your sellers that you are not only worth your commission, but way different than the other realtors that they already hate. Because I got news for you. Even prior to COVID, in a list of trustworthiness based on profession, guess where we ranked? Okay, right below used car salesmen. The good news is we're above politicians and journalists, but we're right below used car salesmen. So take that, add technology to it, and then add DOJ to it. Okay. They don't want us. It's amazing. Okay, let me tell you about the generations. Here's what and this is the most amazing thing. We're all marketing to people who don't own anything. Ready? The greatest generation, here's what they would say. Realtors are awesome. That's what the greatest generation would say. Now, let's go to baby boomers. You should use a realtor. Ready? Generation X, like me and Frank. Okay. Should I use a realtor? Let's go to the millennials. I don't need a realtor. Generation Z, what's a realtor? There's your generational problem right there. And guess what we're all marketing to? The most amazing thing. Most people in real estate are marketing technology-based, like Facebook, Instagram, okay, emails, all this technology stuff. And guess who's seeing that? Generation Z and the millennials that don't own anything. All the real estate is owned by baby boomers and above. 81% of all real estate in the United States is owned by baby boomers and above. And guess what? They ain't on Facebook yet. We're we're marketing to the people who don't own anything and can't afford anything. I mean, these millennials walk around like they rent the place. It's amazing. So it's unbelievable. So the most important thing that you can do in real estate right now, if you're a realtor, is learn things that other realtors don't know that are going to help you prove to your clients that you're not a crook, because the DOJ is telling everybody that we are crooks, and shows them numerically how you can put more money in their pocket, sell faster, push equity up, push the comps up, and do all these things that realtors are supposed to do instead of having a system, which is what we have now with the MLS, a system that over time degrades equity. The system's set up that way. When everybody lists for 5% because we're too damn weak to figure out how to do the 7% technique, okay, everybody lists for 5%. That system in place, that system actually erodes the value of people's houses, which is the opposite thing that we have a fiduciary responsibility to do. So the most important thing that you can do if and when you come to Career Compass, and if you don't come to Career Compass, you are lost, okay, is to learn things that are going to separate you from the competition, put more money in your seller's pocket, buy for less if you're a buyer, and more importantly, prove to the client, prove to the world that we're not the crooks that the Department of Justice and the Sitzer Burnett case is out there telling everybody that we are. That's number one. Number two, I know it's supposed to be the Reader's Digest here, but I got to the Encyclopedia Britannica version of it. Number two, yes, you get your ridiculous continuing education through our third-party vetted, non-affiliated company that comes in and gives them to you, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. See this Target? See, you know what? Why are our logos a Target? Because this is the Target for the DRE. Corrupt people. Anyway, so number two, you get your continuing education. Number three, networking. 3 to 5 to 6 to 700 other agents, okay? That's called referrals. 1/3 of your business should be from a referral. There's that one. And on top of that, not only do we have all of that, but we have an open bar. Nothing better than that. And you get that entire experience for free for life, because once you come to the Career Compass to get the tools and techniques to get your continuing education through a third-party company, okay, and network and get drunk and have fun and have our 2-day awesome in all these awesome locations that we have, like Sacramento, like Tustin, like Pechanga Resort and Casino coming up in April. Pechanga! Drink and gamble, have fun. Okay, live your life, people. You know, most people live their life like they got another one in the bank, and they don't. So once you come to one of our seminars, you're a member for life, forever, for free. And you can come back and get that experience, including your continuing education, third-party company, okay, and everything else for free for life. It's a lifetime ticket. You pay once, you come back for free for life. That's what you get at Career Compass. It is literally the greatest thing in the history of real estate. It is the difference between a Rolls Royce for free or paying for a mule. There you go.
But wait, there's more. There is also a segment on how you can save on your taxes, because, you know, it's refreshing to hear that, I won't mention the name, but there's a packet trying to be passed right now where 1.4 billion for more IRS people. And we have a system at the Career Compass where you can have your taxes looked at and it doesn't cost you anything. And so just speak for about a minute on that.
Okay. One of the companies that we actually merged with, and we're basically merged with, is a company called the Knoke Group. Now, Knoke Group, founded by Bill Knoke, good friend, great guy. The Knoke Group is the #1 tax preparation and wealth management company in the United States that does that taxes and wealth management for realtors only. That's pretty much all they do. 99% of all their clients are realtors. They specialize in just realtor taxes. Now, for those of you who want to know some specifics, let me just wet your whistle here a little bit. Ready? If you are a realtor, meaning you have a specialized license, and that's where things change. If you are a realtor and you are making less than $250,000 GCI, which is nobody on this call, right? Anyway, okay, making less than $250, no, nobody around here. If you're making less than $250, your tax obligation legally, 100% legally, with almost zero audit risk, your tax obligation to the federal government should be either zero or very close to it. And I can show you 10,000 tax returns just from last year and every year, where Bill Knoke and the Knoke Group has done that for realtors just like you, making the same amount of money that you're making in the same areas you're making, identical to you, are paying 90, 95, 98, sometimes 100% less taxes completely legally with zero audit risk of any kind. Now, let me kind of explain why that is. And now, if you're making over 250, then things change a little bit, because that's the line where the government thinks rich people and poor people are. Remember what Joe Biden said? Joe Biden said, well, if you make $250,000, then you're a millionaire. And some reporter goes, what? Excuse me, sir? And he goes, well, over 4 years, Okay. Anyway, so point being, yeah, this is our government for you. If you're making under 250 or whatever you're making, it doesn't make any difference. If you are paying a large percentage of your income, when I say large, anywhere from 10 or more percent of your income in taxes, you're doing your taxes wrong. And let me tell you why. Most realtors, the vast majority, okay, we're talking 90 to 95%, are either an LLC, sole proprietor, Schedule C filer, C corp, blah blah blah, all these things, and any of those classifications that you're taxing, okay, that you're getting, that you're filing your taxes, pretty much guarantee you the highest taxes known to the tax code and the highest risk of an audit. What you should be, if you are a real estate professional making any more than 30 grand a year, is a sub chapter S corporation. Let me say it again, sub chapter S corporation. Because when you're a sub chapter S corporation, the amount of deductions and things that you can do with your income, as far as things you can take as deductions against your income, explode, because it's a completely different type of classification. And you can file that way because you're a realtor, because you're running your own business. Most people can't file that way. Now, again, this is not tax advice. This is just tax information. Please consult your tax accountant, blah, blah, blah. But if you are paying any taxes, pretty much any taxes, like, let me give you an example. This guy named Carl Basco from San Diego just sent me an email the other day. And we have thousands of these. Now, Carl makes anywhere between 150 to about 250 grand every year, depending on whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. He's a pretty consistent guy. Last year in 2020, so he just did his 2022 taxes at the end of 2023. This is when he sent me the email. So in 2022, which was a good year, he made $228,000 GCI before splits, fees, and everything else like that. On that kind of volume, he normally would pay anywhere between 10 to 30 grand in taxes, depending on how the year went. Ready? He paid $800 to the state of California and $0 to the Fed legally, because he changed his classification from sole proprietor, which most of you are. If you don't know what your classification is, you're sole proprietor. That's how your tax accountant is doing it. From sole proprietor to sub chapter S corporation, and had his taxes done by the Kanoki Group. Now, the Kanoki Group, I'm telling you, they're the ones who teach the teachers. Kanoki hired somebody in his office about 2 years ago to help him because his business is exploding because of Career Compass. This lady had 17 years of experience at H&R Block doing taxes for realtors. She goes, "Oh, you're hired." Okay. She spent the entire 2 weeks that he was training her, the first 2 weeks, going, "I didn't know you could do that. That's an IRS code. You can take that deduction. I had no idea." Over and over and over again. And this lady had been doing taxes for realtors for 17 years. Do you know what you have to be? You know what you have to do to be a tax accountant or a tax preparer? A 6-hour course you can take online while you're texting your friends. That's it. And these are the people who are managing half of your wealth, because half of all the money you ever make in your life is going to go where? To the government. Add it up. You got income taxes, state and local income taxes. Then you got property taxes. You got taxes on taxes. You got road taxes. You got taxes on your gas. You got taxes on your groceries. Add that all up. It becomes 50% of your income. Now, if you had your taxes done by the Kanoki Group, you'd pay anywhere between 50 and 99% less taxes. What is that doing to your volume? Nothing. But it's not about your volume. It's what you take home. If you make $1 million and you take home 100 grand, you suck. But if you make 200 grand and you take home $195,000, you did great. See the difference? It's what you take home. So if you paid less taxes, it's like doubling your business. So anyway, I don't want to go too far on this, but one of the things at our seminar, and this is just one of the things, because we have senior market training, we have military demographic training, we have married, divorcing training, we have marketing training, we have 7% technique, we have the EAT, the PAT, the lawyer letter, and we have tax training. All this stuff happens at our seminar, things that you won't learn at any other seminar, because most seminars, with all due respect, are basically cold calling, door knocking, and database management. If you go to any training, and I'm not bashing on that stuff, that built our business. But if you go to any training these days, 99% of all real estate training comes down to 3 things, or repackaging of these 3 things, which is door knocking, cold calling, and database management, and then some SEO training, which is fine, but we've all heard that stuff before. What you need to do as a real estate agent is learn not only how to pay less taxes, but how to double your business, triple your business, explode your business using tools and techniques that you've never heard before and most realtors have never heard before. And that's what we do at Career Compass. And that's why our greatest hits, hold on a second, okay? See this right here? This right here is called the greatest hits. Career Compass greatest hits. It's 114 different tools, techniques, systems, and processes on the internet. There's a book, and all those are flash drives, blah, blah, blah. This right here in the last 15 years has become the #1 fastest, not just fastest, but the #1 selling recorded real estate agent training program in the history of California. I mean, and that's why our C4 program is exploding as well. It's because the things that we teach, not only those greatest hits, but at the seminar and on our C4 program, are things that realtors must know if they want to succeed and stay in this business.
Wow, folks, what you've seen for the past 30 minutes is just a glimpse of what you get on the 2-day seminar. And I swear he doesn't drink coffee. He lives off of diet drinks, I think. So,
Red Bull and cocaine.
Wellington, in the chat, could you please put your contact info? And if you don't want to give out your cell phone, the office number, that would be great. Because this is going live right now on LinkedIn. And then Chris is going to be able to send this out. He'll send you a link so you can send it out to all your peeps. But I just want to thank you for your energy and all the info this morning. I know it's early in wine country there, but I just want to thank you for coming on and bringing value to everybody here. I really
my pleasure. And since it's kind of separate, hold on, let me separate my thing here. Okay. So Chris, it's thecareercompass.com. Let me go ahead and see if I can get it without separating the numbers here, or the letters, excuse me. Okay, so so for everybody there, it's the Career Compass. Yeah. Anyway, so
yeah, got
thecareercompass.com. Anyway, okay, and let me put in my cell phone. And anybody can have my cell phone. You want to call me? Call me up. Call me at home. Call me at home. My number is 619-840-9355, which, by the way, spells well. So it's 619-840-WELL. And again, the website is The Career Compass, just like the company name, thecareercompass.com. People say, compass, how do you spell compass? That's amazing. It's like, well, they're not teaching in schools these days. COMPASS, The Career, COMPASS, thecareercompass.com. And again, 619-840-9355. But all the information about our seminars, about our training, about scheduling a lunch and learn in your office, about doing a one-on-one, doing a Zoom, all the stuff is right there on the website, a one-click thing, and you can request that kind of stuff. And you can also come to the seminar. People say, well, how do I register for the seminar? You basically go to our website, you click the seminar you want, put your DRE number in, and you're in. It's a one-click thing. So once again, everybody, thecareercompass.com. And Frank, I can't thank you enough for having me on. I hope I haven't talked your ear off. I'm sure how long we go this morning, but yeah, I mean, if you'd like me to comment on something else, I'd be happy to. Otherwise, I could just answer questions. Anybody have any questions? Do we have any chat questions yet? I don't think we do. Here, hold on. Chris, is there anybody in the chat that's asking questions?
We don't have one yet.
Right. You're too much for these people.
I don't know why it's separated. I'm putting in thecareercompass.com and it's adding spaces between the letters. I think Zoom is smarter than we are, which is not saying a lot for Zoom.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Beef, thank you again for everything. I look forward to seeing you very soon, and I love you, brother.
Love you too, buddy. Thank you for everything. I want to see you at the next seminar. I'm going to put you on stage. You never like me to do that, but I love having you on stage because, oh, thank you. There's Diane Rincon. Hi, Diane. Okay, but love you too, my man. I appreciate everything you do. Keep fighting the good fight, and I hope you can make it. We're having Pechanga in April, and we're having Tustin in August, and then we're back to Sacramento at the end of the year. Hopefully you'll come, and anytime you come, you're a VIP guest. Put you on stage, talk about anything you want, anytime.
All right, Beef. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everybody.